I'm Allan Hatchwell, Hatchwell Antiques. Today I want to show you and talk to you a little bit about gyroscopes, which are a little known object that has transformed our world. Here is one of the pieces I want to talk about today, which is a torpedo gyroscope, which was made by Robert Whitehead, who designed the first torpedoes. He started working in Fiume in Croatia and in around 1860, 1850, and they asked him to create a torpedo, and his first idea was called a mineship, which was a ship filled with explosives, and it was guided by wires from the shore, but of course it had a very limited scope of attack. So he started developing the torpedo, which was a power-driven tube, effectively, going in the water with a big warhead. And the trouble with that was, of course, to make it go straight and true, to actually arrive on its intended target. And he'd already managed to design a pendulum and a hydrostatic system which could control the height of the torpedo in the water, but he didn't have a system that could control its direction. And there was a German chap called Ludwig Obry, Aubry system, which this structure, which is called the Aubry Steering System, was designed by. And Whitehead bought the rights to this system, and he started putting it into his torpedoes. And as soon as he had an effective control system, which was free running, the torpedo was able to completely transform world naval power. Suddenly you had a tiny little, relatively inexpensive instrument that could deliver a powerful punch in a torpedo and cripple and sink massive warships that had very, very little defense against it other than armor plating. This system was developed by Ludwig and used by Robert Whitehead in 1895. You have a little spinning gyroscope here, which is it's effectively a spinning wheel sprung by a very, very powerful spring, which would enable the torpedo to run for about 2 or 3 minutes, straight and true. And as the gyroscope span with the force of the spinning wheel, it creates an inertia, and that inertia is reversed back into the directions of the controls of the torpedo, and that enables the torpedo to react to the pressures of the sea and the wind and the waves as the sea. So that spins round, and they work backwards, changing the vanes on the back of the torpedo. So this little bit of instrument here totally changed the state of naval warfare. Before that, the only things that were relevant was the ability to build a bigger gun and therefore a bigger ship hull to transport the bigger gun and deliver a powerful punch. And suddenly a cheap, lightweight instrument like that could threaten the power of these big ships. And the big ships did get bigger, and it leads me on to this remarkable gyroscope behind me here, which is actually for a nuclear submarine. It's made by IMU, and there's a proper name for it. It's called the Inertial Measuring Unit. And here is the gyroscope spinning. It's in a big armoured shell, and that spins very fast. And the sensors are actually these mirrors here that reflect and capture the movement, and that sends electronic signals to the control mechanisms of the submarine. So this was set in a great big cabinet. It's very rare. We don't know obviously which submarine it came from, but it's quite a remarkable instrument, and hasn't really changed that much really from over 100 years ago when the first ones were made. The concept has to be the same because it works. It weighs quite a lot. It's 73 kilos, as you can see, and these are all the different parts of the electrics and the data for it. But it's very, very unusual to be able to find this, and we're very happy to offer it for sale.